everybody!
Good morning!
Welcome back to our channel. We're not in our normal surroundings today.
No, we are on a little road trip, vacation slash work trip.
A little bit of everything. So we're here to answer your questions again because we put this off for a couple weeks. Our Q&A part 2. You guys asked a lot of really good questions and we're excited to answer the rest of them from the last video.
Yeah, I think these ones get even a little deeper into our lives, don't they?
Yeah, a little bit.
How you feel about that?
I mean, you guys, they know us.
Yeah.
They know us.
I mean, it's like, I feel like every time we go on this every week, it's like talking to our friends, you know?
Yeah.
We absolutely love you guys and appreciate all your support.
On that note, if you aren't already subscribed to our channel, please go ahead and hit that button. It really helps us and encourages us to put out more videos. It helps us stick around, so hit that button if you haven't already. If you like this kind of video, give us a thumbs up.
Yeah. And let's get into it now.
Alright.
I'm excited for these questions. So we are going to say, originally when we did these questions, we had them all written out nice, and we were marking the ones that we answered in part 1.
And I left that notebook at home.
It's life.
So I'm going to go back through as best as I can. If we've already answered some, I'm sorry. If we skip some, I'm sorry. It's not intentional.
Yeah. And if we do miss yours again, just reach out to us.
It's about Pax's nap time, so we'll see how this goes. First questions first. What do we do for a living?
Well, we've talked about this in previous videos.
Right. So, as we said before, we are kind of launching some new things. I recently left my job that I had been out for a while, and we are working on some photography businesses. So, Brittany is into real estate photography, which if you don't know what that is, it's when somebody, for example, lists a house for sale. Those pictures that go up on the MLS are typically taken by a professional photographer. So, she's doing that kind of thing.
You can do it for Airbnbs. You can also do it for like big businesses. Sometimes they just want stuff for marketing materials as well.
Right. I'm getting into family and lifestyle photography. First step in the trying to conceive process. For us, it was agreeing that it was time.
Inner details.
That was funny. It was funny. Then following that, I would say finding your sperm donor and or visiting a doctor if you're going to have
I think the doctor would be first.
I think found our sperm donor first.
Ours was a little different though because we originally were trying without
a doctor. We were originally just going to do it at home ourselves.
Our process of finding a sperm donor was also a little different because there's only certain sperm banks that you can use if you're trying at home.
Right. But it kind of depends on your personal journey too.
Yeah, and it kind of depends whether you're doing what that journey is. If it's IUI, if it's at home, if it's IVF, if it's, you know, what that looks like.
Right.
But I think finding probably a doctor or what's the place called? A reproductive specialist.
Yeah, reproductive endocrinologist. Where in the world would you love to travel to?
We've talked about this so many times. Right now, anywhere.
Anywhere. We're like desperate to go somewhere. That's why we're on this little mini road trip. We're not going anywhere too exciting, but we were going for business, so we thought stay an extra day or two and find some fun things to do. So here we are. Anywhere though.
Anywhere, yeah. I mean, I would love to. I mean, I think we've talked about this. We would love to go to Australia, Bali, Thailand. You've been to Greece, but you wanted to go back to the.
I would love to go to Mykonos.
Yeah.
Again.
But it's hard to even imagine what that's going to look like now with COVID and also with this little one. Oh, you pointing?
Pointing to the camera.
He's getting good at pointing.
He learned how to point like 2 weeks ago, so now he's all about pointing. This person said, I like the remodeling around the fireplace. Thank you. Great job. Do you plan on more changes in your current house, or are you still thinking about moving? So we talked about moving in our last video. As far as more changes in our current house, yes, potentially.
I like the word potentially.
Go ahead.
Everything depends on cost, and we haven't gotten those quotes yet.
Right.
So we would love to at least finish a little bit of our basement just to make it a play space where we could actually
hang out
and leave stuff out, so we're not feeling like it's constantly like, let's get the toy out now, let's put it away, let's get a coin out, because I'm a little OCD. And we would like to expand our kitchen just a little bit, make a little more counter space.
We don't want to do all this and then decide we're going to move.
But it also all depends on cost, and then it'll probably depend on, after we get the quotes, if she wants me to do any of it or not.
We've made it through a couple renovations in the past, so it's not like that I'm worried about. It's just...
It's a pain.
It is. It's really hard.
And it's hard with having him, too.
Yeah. He's just into everything.
And
constantly on the move, and he's into everything.
And then I'm also like, I need your help, because I can't move this by myself, or, you know, like, stuff like that.
If you can't tell, he's constantly on the move.
Here, let me try to take you so she can read, but you can play with the straw.
Let's see. In your state, are you in lockdown? We are in lockdown in terms of we have a curfew. We're supposed to be home by what, 10 o'clock?
10, yeah.
And then we have a mask mandate. What is your dream date night?
That's a good question.
I don't know. Probably just dinner. Like a nice restaurant or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like there's this place, okay, like a good paleo restaurant, good gluten-free restaurant. There's a couple places in Austin that we really like. There's a couple places in Sedona, Arizona that we really like. So if I could go to one of those places
Oh my gosh.
on a date, that would be fantastic.
Please.
We want to
Sedona. I want to go to Sedona, and I would like to go. I would just like to go out west in general. We're pretty simple people. A nice dinner. Go walk around somewhere if it's not too cold.
Yeah.
I mean, anything right now to actually go out on a date would be probably phenomenal.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I wouldn't leave him. Can he come on our dates?
Yeah, he can come too. We
Great.
haven't had anybody watch him yet, other than like my mom has come over. Her mom has come over for like an hour here and there.
But while we're there.
Right, but we haven't actually left him. What is our favorite show right now? I mean, we don't watch a ton of TV. We're watching the show called
The Unicorn.
The Unicorn or something on Netflix. It's actually pretty cute.
Yeah.
It's about a dad, a widower who obviously his wife died and like he has 2 little girls, and so their life after all of that and trying to get back into the dating scene and stuff. It's good. We like to just find random series
on Netflix,
usually.
yeah.
We can't do movies because we can't stay awake long enough for movies. So we'll watch like, I don't
we have
know,
like 30 minutes.
30 minutes to an hour at the most.
Mwah, thank you.
Can you elaborate more about growing up celebrating Hanukkah, and are there any other Jewish holidays you celebrate?
I mean, celebrating Hanukkah was pretty simple. I mean, we lit the menorah. Some years we got presents, some years we didn't.
Her parents were not big holiday people in general.
Yeah, I mean,
Especially as you got older.
I think we've said this before, like, we traveled for the holidays. Like, it was an experience. That was like our family tradition. As far as celebrating other Jewish holidays, when I was younger, we would travel to my grandparents, and we would do like Passover and stuff like that there. But other than that, like just at home, we didn't do that much as far as I remember. I'm getting older, my memory's definitely fading a little bit.
And we'll probably do some of those things with him as well. Obviously Hanukkah was the biggest one for us this year. We want to kind of expose him to both Christmas and Hanukkah.
Just because I was raised with 2 different ones, I was allowed to go to church if I wanted to. I was allowed to go to temple if I wanted to. I was allowed to experience whatever I wanted, really. There was no pressure on be this religion, be this way, period, or don't be this way. And I would like to expose him to that. Obviously, there are a lot of other religions that we just don't know enough about to give him that personal exposure.
Right.
But if he wants to explore those when he's older, he's welcome to.
Have you thought of sending Pax to daycare? We have no reason to send Pax to daycare right now. And I know, like, with COVID and stuff, there's a lot of daycares that are not open to full capacity anyway, so I don't even know that we could get him in somewhere we wanted to. I mean, I'm sure we could, but...
Well, and I think right at this moment, too, because of that, and because we're not in dire need of anything like that, like, yes, we would love... later on in a couple years for him to, we want that socialization for him, at least for a few hours a day or whatever. But right now, because we have the option of one of us being home, you know, we don't need to take up space from somebody else.
Right.
And risk exposure. I mean, we know a lot of people that have had COVID.
A lot now.
From whether it's work or sent home from daycare or anything like that.
At what age do you think of telling Paxton who his father is so that he can meet him? So we addressed this on Instagram a couple weeks ago, I think. For one, we prefer to refer to his donor as his donor and not a dad or a father. I think those titles are something that has to be earned, and we don't know the donor, he doesn't know the donor.
We're not ever allowed to contact the donor.
Right, so the way that we did it, the sperm bank that we chose, they have donors that you can use where the child can find out who they are when they turn 18, but anything before that is not allowed. So we won't ever have legal rights to find out who that person is. If Pax so chooses when he turns 18, he has our support 100%. But until then, there's nothing that we can do, and that's, I think, how a lot of sperm banks are.
Yeah, I think that's pretty typical. It's not like we're not going to hide from him that we used a sperm donor.
No, and we have books and stuff about all that.
Yeah,
100%. He'll know that as, you know, as he's growing up. That's
100%.
not something that we're trying to hide at all. Donor, not dad. How did you decide who would be called mommy and mama? I think honestly all it took was one day I said, hey Brittany, do you want to be mom or mommy? Or mama? And she said, I want to be mama. And I said, okay.
Yeah, that is exactly what happened. Although, now I'm like, maybe I should just be mom and you should be mama because I can't get it right for the life of me.
I struggle with it too, but it's fine.
But I don't know if we would get it right the other way either.
We're both mama right now, so it doesn't really matter anyways. Will you do a second parent adoption or do you not need to? Technically, in Ohio, Brittany has legal rights to him because she's on his birth certificate. Now, that doesn't necessarily guarantee her rights, especially if something were to change in the Supreme Court. We're kind of watching how things are going, and if it's necessary, then we will for sure do it. But to guarantee her rights.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked to
lawyers
and everything like that, and we just haven't necessarily made this step forward.
Because as of right now, you have legal rights.
I have legal rights, yeah.
So I think that's all the ones from YouTube, actually.
All right, let's do some Instagram.
How is your love life going? We got a couple of these ones, and I hope they're from people not asking for their own personal benefit. You never know what you're going to get out there.
So how is our love life?
Would I like it to be better? Sure. I think it's hard when you have a little one, especially him right now because he's just so attached. Like,
He's a magnet to her. I mean, he is absolutely a magnet to her.
I absolutely love him. I adore him, but there are times where I'm like, I need my 2 arms to go do something instead of holding him all day. So it's a little hard right now, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, could it be improved? Yes, it could be. But I also know that this stage is temporary. What is the best advice you've ever been given about love and life?
Love and life.
I feel like probably just, again, communicate with each other.
For love, for sure, communicate. You have to be able to communicate with each other. You have to be able to discuss feelings.
Even if it's uncomfortable.
Yes, yes.
As far as life goes, I guess my dad had always said growing up, find a job you'll love and you'll never work a day in your life, and he lives that to a T. And I hope that we can find something that we really enjoy doing and we don't dread going to work every day.
The best advice I've ever been given about life would also actually come from my dad. Which is kind of surprising probably to hear me say this. Because I used to just bump heads with everything he would say. I'd be like, you don't understand, you don't understand. The truth is he understood. He had a lot more years on me.
Old and wise.
Yeah, that happens. That legitimately happens. Everything's a moving target and everything's always going to be changing. So if you think something's gonna, like you're going to do this and this and this and something's going to go a certain way, by the time you get to that situation,
it's going to be different.
Yeah, it's going to be different. So you have to be ever evolving. You have to go with the flow.
Yeah.
You have to be able to adapt.
Pancakes or waffles? I think pancakes.
I think it depends on the day.
I thought you would pick waffles for sure. Do you ever worry about judgment on your family? Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. We have talked to each other about how important it is for him to be around other families that look like ours.
And that don't.
Well,
but
absolutely.
We already have families that don't. We need families that do.
Right.
We have a couple.
So as he grows up, there are different play groups and stuff for parents in the LGBT community. I have definitely worried about, like, as he gets older and going to, like, play dates and stuff in school, if there will be families that are like, you can't hang out with Paxton because his moms are lesbians or something like that. And I guarantee that'll happen. We'll handle it as we go, and we're going to do our best to make him proud of where he comes from. So.
Yeah, 100% agree with that. We kind of had to overcome our fear of that before we got pregnant with him, honestly.
What are the things that make Paxton laugh?
Everything.
He likes it when we're really goofy or if we dance around. He thinks that's a lot of fun.
Oh, he loves when we dance around. We're not good dancers, though.
Well, thanks.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
You like this?
Yeah.
He's just tired right now.
He likes music. I don't know. He's a pretty happy
He's actually a pretty happy, giggly baby.
Okay, this is the last one. How do you handle looking after the little guy when he's being difficult or if he's having a hard time?
Ooh, I know the answer to this one. I think we both do.
Go ahead.
Well, I don't remember the exact word, but it's co-regulation.
This is my belief, not necessarily everybody's. But babies don't know how to regulate themselves. If they're dysregulated, they can't regulate themselves. So what I tell myself when I'm feeling frustrated or if he's really upset and he's not calming down, I remind myself that he can't regulate if I'm not regulated. He regulates from us being regulated. So if that means I need to like put him down and take a deep breath, if I need to give him to Brittany for a minute, whatever it may be, I do my best to show him and remain calm so that he can regulate himself.
And I think that's something we've actually learned from experience, because we've talked about in many videos how I've struggled from anxiety, and the best way to get me back to a place is to do that, is for you to stay calm and be regulated, and that's what helps me stay regulated. It's the same thing with him. As much as you want to be like, oh my gosh, Braxton, stop. You can't. That doesn't do any good. Like, in our opinion, right? Like, that doesn't do any good for him.
Right.
He's just not, like, he doesn't even understand.
Right. He's too little. And as he gets older, we'll definitely teach him to take a deep breath, or if he needs to take a break, or, you know. But that's all we have for our questions. I hope we got to all of them. Again, if there's something else that you want to know, just DM us on Instagram.
Love by two moms.
Appreciate all of you.
We appreciate all your support, and we'll catch you in that next video.
Bye.
Bye. Do you want to say bye? You want to go sleep?